Squatters. Some of the most insufferable human beings to ever exist. The idea that some druggy bum can just live in your property for, in certain places, just as little as 30 days and claim it as theirs, it's gotta be one of the most flawed and outdated laws in all of human history. But this stuff happens all over America, consistently. It even happens to properties that are worth millions of dollars. But nope, someone lived in it without you knowing, or hell, maybe it was an old friend of yours that you were letting stay over for a bit, just for them to claim ownership over the place that is yours, that you spent your hard-earned cash on a place to call your own, taken from you from right under your nose. The worst part of all of this is that when you go to contact law enforcement, they tell you it's a civil matter and that they can't get involved when there is a literal intruder in your house. But they won't remove them. I guess it depends on your state. Some places have been better about this, but for most places in America, the cops won't do a damn thing. It's not like I can steal a car and then hide it in a garage for a month and then say it's mine. But when it comes to housing, that's okay. It's the most hypocritical law ever conceived. You know, the police are supposed to be there to maintain order, yet time and time again, we have policies in place that stop justice from being served and order being enforced. You know, what's the point of a peacekeeping force if a bloated bureaucracy doesn't even allow it to maintain peace? It just baffles me how squatters' law even exists in our modern society. With the government already giving so much money to our impoverished population, our quote-unquote impoverished population, welfare checks, EBT, and so on. We spend 1.6 trillion annually on our welfare policy. Yet it's not even enough for these people. They have to go and steal your houses as well. The welfare state is for a different time. It's just I'm so appalled how anyone in their right mind can believe that squatting is right or okay. It's crazy. To first understand why this law even exists in the first place, I needed to do some digging onto why we even have it, to truly understand what the reason is behind such an insatiable law. Well, you see, the act of squatting and the legal doctrine of what is known as adverse possession, it's a legal doctrine that allows a trespasser or an unauthorized occupant to acquire legal ownership of someone else's property, often referred to as squatters' rights. They've existed for thousands and thousands of years, originating in ancient civilizations long before modern property records even existed. One of the earliest examples can be found in the Code of Hammurabi. I'm butchering that. Around 1750 BC, which recognized that land should not remain abandoned, indefinitely if someone else is using and maintaining it. The Romans later developed this concept into a legal doctrine called usucapito. Usucapo. I'm gonna butcher all these names, which allowed a person to become the legal owner of a property after possessing it, openly and continuously under certain conditions. The whole idea behind this was that if land was meant to be used productively, that was the whole point. Like, farmers were way more important in the past, so if you have someone who is, claiming big tracts of land without actually using it, but someone else comes along and uses that land productively, keyword there, productively, something that gets lost, in today's squatting, it will be okay with the government because the land is being used to the best interest of the people, feeding them, rather than the land not being used at all. These ideas were eventually incorporated into English common law, where, of course, they became especially important during the medieval ages. At this time, English lacked reliable maps, written deeds, and, accurate land records like everyone else before them, making ownership disputes common. This was going on beforehand, of course, but it grew as there were more and more people and less land. Often, like we see today, just, worse. The courts often relied on long-term possession as the best evidence of ownership and, establish, who actually owned the land before someone could, challenge and claim the property. The English colonists brought these laws to North America, believe it or not, and they served a practical purpose during the colonial and frontier periods. Much of the land was, poorly surveyed, records were incomplete and the maps weren't exactly accurate of the New World, and the American government wanted to encourage settlement and development of unused property, during the westward expansion and, within the 19th century. Similar ideas later were shown in laws with the Homestead Act of 1862, which rewarded settlers who occupied and improved the land, and, then they would gain the land as their own. But, of course, back then there was, nothing out there anyways. Although it wasn't a legally distinct from adverse possession, or what's known today as squatters' rights. As the United States becomes more urbanized, going into the 20th century, the 21st century, the original justifications for squatters' rights become less and less compelling, now that in modern day we have detailed deeds of who owns properties, computerized records, GPS for God's sake. It makes verifying ownership really, really simple. Today, every state still recognizes some form of squatters' rights. While that doctrine was originally created to resolve uncertainty over, abandoned and poorly documented land, now it's the modern times, and my take on it is that we should focus on whether these century-old legal principles should even remain relevant in our modern era, where property ownerships can be established quickly and accurately through modern record-keeping systems. Now, with that history lesson out of the way, hopefully you've gotten all the context you need for me to describe to you why this god-awful law is still even around today. Thanks to states' rights, there are certain places like Florida who have only very recently, in 2024, drafted and enacted anti-squatter rights laws. Yes, there are some areas in America also taking this action, but like I said in the intro, it's widely accepted across the U.S. California has the worst of it. With just as little as 30 days of occupancy, you can claim squatters' rights in a property. It doesn't surprise me, to be honest. Hell, it's California. But there are similar states that have pro-squatter laws as well. It's not just California. This is one of the reasons you might see so much content about it online, because of how much of a widespread problem it is. I've never personally experienced squatters, but even the idea of it happening to me sounds like hell. It's one of those times where the state goes against you. The state goes against the people it's trying to protect. What's the point of a government if they're just going to hurt you? The whole point of a government is to protect you from threatening forces, internal and external. And with squatters' rights, it's like shooting your own people in the foot. Maybe not so much back in the day when most land was used for farming, but they needed it back then, versus now where we have such an amazing record-keeping system, and there's not a need for any homeless bum to come and legally take my property. I mean, come on! This is America, the nation that supposedly showed that capitalism was the best form of economic system to ever use. Hell, we beat the commies in the Cold War just to turn around and start protecting openly communist policies 30 years after the fact. Squatters' rights are inherently anti-capitalistic. I mean, come on, giving properties to those who quote-unquote need it are those who are quote-unquote unfortunate. That's like textbook communism right there. So, no wonder the increasingly socialist blue states still have these policies around. I also, myself, am a Christian, believe it or not, and when discussing topics such as welfare or squatters' rights, people like to bring up, oh, well, Jesus said that we need to care for the needy, and, well, yes, this is true, but there are more effective ways to go about actually helping the genuine unfortunate. Giving money to the church rather than government-allowed theft of your own property. In the reality, the Bible states very plainly in Exodus 20:15, "Thou shalt not steal." But some bum is going and taking my property, and I can't get it back because they changed the locks or something. It's literal theft. And it's not like we need to give everything to the needy. They are the way they are for a reason. Whether that be drugs, alcohol, gangs, whatever it may be. I could go into the crimes and the depth of the welfare state, but that's for another time. In regards to squatters' rights, though, it helps back the welfare state by allowing these unproductive members of society go and take your property rather than the government forcibly seizing it themselves. It's a roundabout way to take your land and give it to the doctors and engineers. Squatters' rights in our modern day is really like the end game. of a bloated bureaucracy. Something that was initially around because there wasn't enough bureaucracy, but has turned into something that the government not doing anything to remove squatters and making you go through a lengthy civil legal process to get rid of them, rather than just get law enforcement to forcefully remove them. Because that would be inhumane, or, some liberal bullshit. Some certain stories stuck with me when I was researching for this video. There's this one man in Florida who was sent to go fight in Afghanistan, but, during the whole war on terror. But when he came back in 2014, before the law was changed in Florida, what happened was a house sitter gave an acquaintance of his permission to go do renovations, but that acquaintance then changed the locks, moved his girlfriend, and then refused to leave. Because the squatters claimed a verbal lease, the sheriff office treated it as a civil matter. The squatters stayed for over a year before the case was even over, and the Florida man got his house back again after thousands of dollars of damages and so much other pain and suffering. Could you imagine that? You go to fight for your country, and then you come back, and some jackass has been living in your house for a year. And when you call the cops, they say they won't remove the people living in your house because it's a civil matter. So now you're effectively homeless for a year until the case is over. Thank you for serving our country. Oh, by the way, you have some jackass living in your house. What a great example of bloated bureaucracy this is. Imagine how easy it would be to just go forcibly grab the people out of the house and then just throw it out. But no, we can't do that, because then the original homeowner is going to get charged with the crime rather than the man taking your house. God, there's so many more stories like this, and I could go on about these injustices, but I believe I should just show them to you. Now, with all of that being said, and you hearing me tell you about all these events, I believe it will be beneficial for you to truly get my side of the argument by just showing you these squatters firsthand. There's so much content of this out there on the internet, and it's part of the reasons I made this video in the first place. I want to show some of you some of my favorite clips that I've seen of squatters over the years. I say over the years. In my time doing research for this video. And I'm doing this to show you the full weight and scale of the situation, as well as squatters' full depravity. The first couple clips I'm going to show you comes from a channel called Asian Andy, where he had a squatter come in and move in, and when he called the cops, they would do nothing. So what he had to do is go on and just try to annoy the living hell out of her until she leaves. That's literally the only course of action he can take. So yeah, he does this a lot. He really annoys a squatter to make her leave. But he does this for like months on end, and even having some of his buddies come over and help. But after going through a lengthy legal process of getting her removed after so long and so much damage to the property, she leaves after months and months of being there. And this guy farmed this for streaming and YouTube videos, and I can't even blame him. And this lady in the video, whose name is Mary, has done this many times before. She's a serial squatter and will most likely do it again in the future because of these stupid squatting laws in California where he lives. I would love you to show you the full thing, but if you want to just see the full thing, just go check it out. But here are some clips from the series.
It's been a problem everywhere she goes. This is like the second or third time I've
Okay, great.
So right now, you need to reactivate it. I will crucify you.
Yeah.
Do you want me to take you to another door?
Don't be violent with me. Please don't be violent with me. Hey, oh, my feet! Oh, my feet! Oh, my feet! My feet! Where?
Love you.
I'm autistic.
Hanging on my door.
In the last week and a half, we have come here over 10 times. That is ridiculous. That is over one time a day that we've been here. Everything is civil, Mary. Everything is civil.
It's a civil matter. Hey, I'll see you in court. It's a civil matter. I'll see you in court. I'll see you in court. It's a civil matter. It's a civil matter.
What does it take for you to stop? You nasty piece of shit. Don't you have anything better to do in life? What is your name?
I'm enrolled in League of Legends.
What is your name?
I'm pretty good at League of Legends.
What is your name?
I have a max RuneScape account. I was pretty good at Iron Man mode.
Okay, are you gonna have a court order keeping you away from
from this door and keeping your music.
I've been a member of Hustlers University for 2 years.
Excuse me?
I'm a member of Hustlers University. I'm a student.
Hustler University?
Hustlers University.
You're a sick I'm gonna do. I'm going to leave, and I'm going to keep my stuff here. I'm going to bring a couple of homeless people in here, and they and you and Vince kill each other. But I'm going to retain my tenants' rights, and y'all can tear each other's heads off. And I hope you do.
So basically, every single place she's gone to before this, she squatted for like months at a time, and she's like ruined, like smearing shit on the walls. Literally, there's news articles of her and shit. I'm not.
Harry, come out to play!
So, my neighbors are all telling me where they are. I was in front of the house, like, yo, your buddy's getting arrested over there.
Now, yes, that was entertaining to watch, but oh my god, can you imagine being in a situation? It would be terrible to have just someone living in your house and you can't do anything about it. And the police won't do anything about it either. It's a complete upheaval of natural order. Now, this next clip is really how every squatter situation should be handled.
A real estate property manager calls the police after someone breaks into a home he's selling and is still inside the property claiming squatters' right.
What a joke. That's not our door handle. They took it off.
69189. I can hear dogs. Somebody's coming to the door. You look.
Can you hold on? What a cheek. It's astonishing, isn't it?
He looked out the window and then walked away from the door.
The thing is, the only way to get the lockbox off if you don't know the code is to take the door handle off and throw it away. They came prepared. That's our standard key. That key does all of our properties throughout the U.S.
Hi there.
Hi.
Come on up. Come on up.
I don't have paperwork. Why are you on my property?
1025. Come on out.
No, do not touch me.
You need to come outside right
no,
now.
No, I do not. I know my laws. Sir, get off of my property. I return adverse property. Adverse possession with title.
Then you need to come out and talk to me because
okay,
we're going to
I will talk to you right there.
Come outside.
Respect my space. You do not have any right to come and grab me.
Did I touch you?
You were trying to grab me
because
when I have
here.
my paperwork.
Then
Sir,
come outside.
This is a civil matter now because I filed adverse possession, sir, with the state of Florida. Sir, get out of my house. Get this.
Then come outside and discuss that with us.
I will discuss it. You don't have no right to grab me, sir, when I have my paperwork. You are listening to one side of a story. You did not hear me. I am an American citizen. You have no right to step in my house. There is not one way to purchase a home.
You're going to come outside.
Get out of my house.
Remove you from the house.
You cannot remove me from my house with my paperwork, sir.
Can we see the paperwork you have?
State of Florida.
You didn't know I was back here.
The front, I saw you from there. See the assumption, sir? One of them came and tried to break in.
That was an agent trying to show the property that is vacant and is not yours. What are you talking about?
First of all, it is.
No, it's not.
They changed the locks, took the locks, that's theft. So we have authority. If you want to break the door down, we can go in and remove her forcefully. We can arrest her with trespassing and theft for stealing the locks. That's entirely up to how far you want to go with this.
Yeah.
No, my criteria. Sir, you cannot grab me, sir.
Do not resist.
Sir, you cannot grab. I have dogs. Sir, I filed adverse possession.
Stop resisting.
I filed adverse possession. I did it the right way. Stop. Sir, please. My dogs. Sir.
Stop resisting.
Correctly.
You want to get tased?
No.
Turn around. Right now.
Turn around. Turn around.
You're back. Stay right there on the ground.
You fat. Get the f out of my face. Before I spit on you. God, I have no respect for you, you GED, you dumb loser. Adverse possession is a law, and I'm gonna sue the f out of you for what you just did. I swear to f. Get the f away from me! You ugly fat f. Get the f off me, bitch! It's me, you piece of trash! Get the f away from me, it's you, bitch! You guys broken!
It's not broke. It's not broken. It's not broken.
It's broken!
It's not. She's already gotten out once. Oh, you slipped out of these before. So right now you're sitting here, and you can put these handcuffs behind your back.
I don't like you guys anymore. Like, I I hate you all. And I hope you guys dies, and I hope your children dies. Like, I don't like you guys. And I can't wait for sovereign citizens to just come through. And like, when that war begins, I can't wait. Don't talk to me. I'm an American, and I want to be the face of that war too.
Hi, I'm Officer Espinosa with Orange County Animal Services. I'm gonna be taking your 2 dogs. Okay?
Can you take the number?
Listen,
can you? Can you take the number? Okay, bye. Bye.
I've never wanted to see someone get tased so much in my life. God, she is so entitled. You know, these laws in Florida changed that very year, so things weren't going to work out for her this time around. And, you know, she couldn't steal a house. But I love how she says she's going to be I'm going to be the face of the war. Like, what? And whenever anything happens, she just cries, calls the cops racist, and calls them fat fucks. Or just, the cops are just maintaining law and order and doing their job. God, these people are really just the lowest of low in society. I could go on, and if you want to see more, just look up squatters on YouTube. Hell, there's even multiple TV shows I found regarding squatters not leaving houses. They're quite entertaining, I may say, but God, how do we even allow this in our country? To this day, it's beyond me. Now that you've been informed on the historical reasons why it's wrong, ethically, morally, uncapitalistic, and really even un-American to continue these laws, what needs to be done is very quite simple. If someone breaks into your house and they claim it's theirs, check to go see who owns it, and then whoever doesn't own the property, throw them in prison or some other much-needed harsh punishment for the crime of breaking and entering, identity fraud, and theft. When you call the cops, they should be on the property owner's side, not the side of literal criminals. I hope I've convinced you that squatters' rights should not be allowed in any sane, modern society.
Hey, it's Vanessa and her 2 kids.
What is it this time?
Could you please let us back in our house?
You know this is my house now, right? I got squatters' rights,
what?
okay, buddy?
But I
Check
own
it
the
out.
place. Let me see that. Oh my gosh.
Yeah, get the fuck out of my house.
But I have a family and 2 kids.
I don't care if you kids. I'm ruthless.
You're a real piece of shit. You know what? I'm gonna call the fucking cops on you.
Why don't we have the cops deal with this?
Okay, I'm calling them.
Hello! Thank you so much for watching. Please like and subscribe. And leave a comment if you liked it, leave a comment if you disliked it. I really don't care. It's engagement for the video regardless. I got a new mic, so hopefully the video, the sound quality of this video was just a teeny bit better. Anyway, thank you for watching.